glucose can be exist in the form of free or in the combined state. So free state, as such, the glucose is present in the form of amorphous, and in the combined state, you will get the crystalline structure in the form of sucrose, or in the form of your starch or glycogen. So whatever. So that is the combined state. So and the glucose are present in honey. So in nature, if we are getting the glucose from nature without an artificial synthesis or without an manual synthesis, you will get the presence of glucose in honey, and in almost all the fruits we are seeing the presence of glucose. So in honey, you are seeing that in the combined state, and as such in the fruit also, it's present in the form of sucrose fermentally, you will get that. So whatever you are seeing the down structures or the glucose structures, so here we can write all the carbohydrate structures. It may be an monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, or polysaccharides in two ways. Either we can write it in a linear structure, means whatever you are seeing your left side of the screen, that is your linear structure, and in the ring structure. Ring structure we are saying, or it's done by Haworth. So it is saying that it's an Haworth structure. So it's an open chain structure, and this is ring structure. So while in the examination they can ask you like this, write the Haworth structure of glucose, right? The Haworth structure of maltose. This is a compulsory question, right? The Haworth structure of sucrose, or anyone they should ask, and they will ask. So you just noted down the point. If you know to write the structure of sucrose, maltose, lactose in an Haworth structure, you have 2 marks in your pocket. So that is for sure. Then here I told you right yesterday, D and L are the two zones or two types of glucose. It's a glucose, but what is the difference between this L and D means if the rotation of the molecule, in the plane polarized light, I think I have cleared about this. Plane polarized means we are restricting the movement of the light in all directions into the one direction. Instead of moving all directions, the light rays or energies or emissions of light is taking place in the one direction. You can say a beam of light. So that is also a good word. The best example is your laser light. So whenever you are comparing the laser light with your normal bulb, the bulb, whatever you are using for the homes and all, it gets dispersed. You are the physics students, you are much more familiar than me. So that gets dispersed. The light, it doesn't focus on a point. But when you are applying a laser light, the laser will give you a sharp peak end for the long distance. That is called a contraction, and your what to say, that peak point is a concentrated point. That is, you can travel it for long distance, and that is to concentrated beam of light, or a peak of light can be passed. That is laser light, and this is dispersive phase of light. So we are converting the dispersed phase of light into a single beam of light. So that is seems to be as a polarized light. That is said to be as plain polarized light. Dispersed light na plain polarized light agi ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. So what do you mean by plain polarized light? Spread ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? So we are converting the spreading of the light into an passing through a single wavelength. That you can say it as conversion of dispersive light into plain polarized light. You can say like that. So that is a beam of light, a single beam of light. So if that beam of light is passed through an object, is passed through this compound, in which direction it will rotate? Okay, in which direction it will rotate, based on that you can say that is dextro or levorotatory. So, and one more thing you can see here, instead of getting confused, you can see if it is rotate clockwise, that is dextro. If it is rotate anti-clockwise, please note on this. If it is rotate clockwise, right side, if it is rotate clockwise, that is dextro. If it is rotate anti-clockwise, left side, left L. Left means levo. Okay. If it is rotate anti-clockwise, left side means levo. Right side clockwise means dextro. And I'll give you one hint how to remember this. you can see how to write the structure is very important. Actually, you are not forgot what do you mean by D and what do you mean by L, but you forgot how to write the structure. You just please focus on the structure of linear chain of glucose. In which side the OH molecules is more, that side it will rotate. Just please see here. This is the right side, right? So 1, 2, 3 OH are there in the right side. That's why it will rotate from the right. That's why it is clockwise dextrorotatory. And if you're seeing the second diagram, it's OH group present in the left side more. Is of 1, 2, 3. So that's why it rotates from the left side. It will clockwise. Sorry, it will anti-clockwise. That is, it is LIGO. Are you getting my point? This is a one hint you can write. So, and yes, of course, you can. You should write CHO in the first one, and the second. From the second, it will start. If you are pointing the second carbon, from that you should decide whether it is comes to D or L glucose. Are you getting cleared? So if the heavy OH group, if the number of OH group in which side, that side it will rotate, that side it will revolve because of the heaviness, because of the weight. So that you have H and DL, L glucose. And whatever you are seeing in the second diagram, that is your Haworth structure of glucose. Haworth structure is ring structure. Is combining the first group. Okay, is combining the first group. Just a second. Yeah. Can you able to see my screen? Screen is not visible, right? Yeah. Is it visible now? Yes. So whatever you are seeing, it's in Haworth structure. So this Haworth structure is a ring structure. So that will gives you an glycosidic bond linkage. Okay, glycosidic bond link from the second carbon to the fifth carbon. It's from second carbon to the fifth carbon. So that is your glycosidic bond, and in that glycosidic bond, we have two types. One is interglycosidic bond, and second one is intraglycosidic bond that I told. And in this Haworth structure, we have two types of structures, that is alpha and beta. If the free OH group in the first and fourth position, if the free OH group is present, in the downside, if the free OH group is present in the downside, it will alpha. If it is in the upside, it is beta. Okay. Then we'll move on to the next slide. Okay, now this is a very okay. This is a very important actually, how we need to prepare, how we can prepare the glucose. Just give me a second. I'll take up please focus on this and please note down the points. These are very important points. Please note down. Please write it down. It is not there in the slide. So the existing of glucose in so many different forms. First, I inform it is present in the free state of glucose. So first you need to write it is present in the free state of glucose, and it can be combined state. In that combined state, it may be present in the form of sucrose, it may be present in the form of lactose, it may be present in the form of maltose. In trisaccharides, it may be present in the form of triose, trimaltose, triglucose, okay, and hexa, hepta, everything. But in the polysaccharide, it can be exist in the form of amylose, amylopectin, starch, cellulose, glycogen. I'll repeat. In the free state, it can be exist in the form of as such glucose. In the free state, it can be exist in oligosaccharides. It can be exist in the form of sucrose, maltose, lactose, In trisaccharides, triose, trisucrose, triglucose, triulose. In the polysaccharides, it can be in the form of amylose, amylopectin, starch, glycogen, and your cellulose. Have cleared? Have cleared? So this many types can be exist as in the glucose. So now we need to prepare the glucose not from the free glucose because it's already present. So we need to take up the combined state of the glucose, and from that we can hydrolyze and we'll get the free glucose. That is the possibility. So now we need to take up how we can, or what are the things we can extract the glucose from other sources. Okay, from other sources. First source is your sucrose. So sucrose, yes, of course we know that. I showed this in my last slide. Yes, here you can see the sucrose is a composition of glucose plus fructose. You should write this. Sucrose is the composition of glucose plus fructose. Lactose composition is your galactose and glucose. Maltose is your glucose and glucose. Please write it down. Done. Okay, next. Okay. So from the sucrose. Sucrose means to say it's the composition of your glucose and your, what are the composition of sucrose? Glucose and fructose. I told you to write. Sucrose is the composition of glucose plus fructose. Okay, glucose plus fructose. Yes, Gokul, you are right. So when we are taking sucrose, we should know that it contains glucose. Yes, but we need to break the glycosidic bond. Breaking of glycosidic bond is not so easy. It requires more energy. So anyway, we are taking sucrose. That sucrose is a disaccharide. First, you should know the nature of your sucrose. Sucrose is a disaccharide. Yes, right. One of the molecule is your glucose. So we need to break that. So for that breaking, we need to break the glycosidic bond. So for that, we are taking the source of sucrose is your cane sugar. You can take whatever you want, fruit juice or raw fruits. So that and all the sucrose sources. So here we are taking in cane sugar. So sucrose reacts with dilute HCl or H2SO4. It may be react with the HCl or in the sulfuric acid in the presence of alcoholic solution. In the presence of alcoholic solution, what you will get? You will get the separation of your fructose with your glucose. So I didn't write the I wrote okay, sorry. You should know when the sucrose, so you should write the sucrose structure. So I'm giving the molecular formulas over here. You need to write the structure and send it to me today, till today evening at 5. Okay, till 5 o'clock you need to send the writing structure. I'm not saying molecular formulas. You need to write the structure and send it to me within 5 o'clock. Okay, so sucrose is react with your dilute HCl or sulfuric acid in the presence of alcoholic solution. So one more question added. Why we are using alcoholic solution? Means to say basic solution. Why we are using a basic solution? So yes, we are using HCl or sulfuric acid because it's a strong agent, so it can break the OH bond. Yes, of course you are right. But why we are using alcoholic? Alcoholic means it comes under the basic. So why we are using basic solution? That is the one question. So you need to answer for those two. You need to send the structures and you need to answer for that. So when this reacted, it gets break up. So what does it will do? Sucrose get break and it will give the molecule of glucose and fructose in an equal number. Yes, of course. One molecule of sucrose containing one glucose and one fructose means how much sucrose molecules are there, that much you should get the glucose molecule and that much you should get a fructose molecule. So all that are in the equal condition. So you should see the structure over here. So the sucrose molecular formula is C12H22O11. When it reacts with water in the presence of H plus ion, we are getting a glucose, so C6H12O6, and your fructose C6H12O6. You can see the molecular formulas. Both the formulas having the same, but the arrangement or the structures of your glucose and your fructose is different because glucose is your 6-membered ring, fructose is your 5-membered ring. Okay, so that's why I told you to write the structure. Then that is the first thing. From the sucrose, from the oligosaccharides, from the disaccharide, we can break it and make the glucose. That's the first question done. And second thing, from starch, as I inform you, starch is also made from the glucose units. So if you are keeping the chain of glucose in the heavy numbers, you will get the starch composition. So starch, when it get hydrolyzed, it will give you an maximum number of glucose. That's what we are trying over here. When the starch is react with your dilute sulfuric acid at the temperature of 393 Kelvin under a pressure, you will get the enormous amount of glucose freely. It's just like a chain. So when you are opening the chain, you will get this each small fragments of the glucose. So same like that, when you are breaking, when your starch get hydrolyzed, when the starch molecule get hydrolyzed, it will give more number of glucose units. So that's why we are writing it's an N nature. So here I want to say you one more thing. Starch is a composition of two things. One is amylose, one is amylopectin. So if it is linear chain, if it is link one next to the other. If link one next to the other, that is amylose. If it is joined next means to say down. So 1,4 linkage is your amylose. So as I showed you here, if it is linked like this, you can see this, right? So if it is linked like this, one next to the other, it is amylose. Amylopectin means 1,6 glycosidic linkage. 1,6 glycosidic linkage means it is attaching one below the other. That is amylopectin. In starch, you have two composition. One is amylose and amylopectin. Amylose is the linear chain. Amylopectin is the branched chain. Amylose is joined with the 1,4 glycosidic linkage. Amylopectin is joined to the 1,6 glycosidic linkage. So you are seeing the structure here. Sorry, molecular formula is CnH10, C6H10O5 in N number plus water molecule at the temperature of 393 Kelvin and 2 to 3 atmospheric pressure we are maintaining. You will get C6H12O6, a number of glucose you can get. Okay. So by this, I'll end up my session. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. What to repeat, Gokul? Reaction, which reaction you want? Which reaction? Just a second, I'll see. Can you repeat the reaction? Cane sugar with HCl. Okay. One sucrose. Sucrose is a disaccharide. It's a unit of one molecule of glucose with one molecule of fructose. When we are adding HCl or sulfuric acid to that, it will break the interglycosidic bond between your glucose and your fructose, and it will give the individual molecule of your glucose and fructose. So number of sucrose molecule should be equal to the number of glucose and fructose. Yes, of course. Why? Because if it is six number sucrose are there, when it get breaks, six number of glucose, six number of fructose. So you'll get the same equal number of monomeric units. So that is what we said. And we are using an alkaline condition, that is basic condition. So you need to answer why we are using as a basic condition, and you need to write the structure of this like sucrose, glucose, and fructose. Have cleared, Gokul? It's just a breaking of two chain. Okay, then I'll end it up. Thank you so much for attending. Have a good day. Tomorrow I'll take up the two classes. One is chemistry as usual, my class, and